This is going to run. Oh, it didn't like that at all. A bunch of errors. Oh, yeah, I think like pipes or something were wrong. Okay, so if you've never played Counter-Strike Source or 1.3, 1.0, or 1.6, this map will not look familiar to you. And if you played Source and you had access to the server I was on with my Counter-Strike clan back in the day, they had this map. They rarely played it. But this was one of the original hostage rescue maps ever. So I remade it. Let's play. All right. So I didn't do a lot of detail work because it was rough to get it out to people to play. And I spent months working on it, like months. Like this room here was like, it's nothing, but it was like, oh God, I want to make it nice. The map, you'll notice in the top left, the map is missing. It was a separate process I didn't know how to do yet. So let's get out of here. Yeah, that was my bad. I goofed on some things. The purple texture over here is actually a missing texture. It was a logo for when I was making maps. So I would actually, mark my map. A lot of this stuff is pre-made assets. Some of this is not. That's a pre-made. That's a pre-made. That's a pre-made. That is not. So they didn't have a dumpster from Source, so I made it. I brought the dumpster from the original game, mapped all the height and everything, and made the block the right height, and boom, that's the original dumpster size, more or less within a 1 unit measurement of the original dumpster. The reason I did this was because in the old game, this was like one of the top sniping spots in the game. So this whole area is like all kind of destructible, I think. No, it's not. Okay. None of this existed in the original game. It was just like a flat tunnel, so I added some details and stuff for people to hide behind. Because getting in here was basically a murder hole. Or murder hole. So it's just kind of... I took Siege and I was running with the idea of, it seemed like a military-industrial complex kind of thing, which we have in the tunnel, which should be around. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll do like standard stuff, crates, boxes, and junk. And that's what I did. So this is obviously a glitchy version of what I did, but... no, it's just this building here is all original. Hang on, let me fix my sensitivity. 2.7, please. That's good enough. So this building here, I pretty much carved out like the original building. Who's here? Feet. Welcome, Feet. It doesn't show you as a user, but welcome. So this whole building was original. For the most part, I had to basically reshape blocks that were jumbled or sliced into weird trapezoids and stuff, like three-dimensional trapezoids or whatever they're called. And I basically had to round them out to be rectangles and stuff, or make a new one that fit the same space, and then retexture it. So it was a rough texture job, but it came out pretty good. The whole purpose of this was to bring in the old game map and maintain the original angles of shooting, except for the bunker entrance. That was like my thing. I wanted to make it look cool. And I did keep like the original maintenance trailer and some other stuff. I don't have a flashlight, do I? Let's see, flashlight? What's the... there we go. So I added some basic stuff around here that was kind of bad. Again, this was all rough. There was no lighting in here or anything. It was just kind of junk that I built. But if I go down to the really cool part, let me see if I can. Yeah. So this is one of the avenues that I can't remember if I maintained or put a new one in. Let's see. This is the sewers. So this is original. I remade it to be more or less what the original game had. So this staircase, for instance, it's actually not original. I had to rebuild it from scratch to try and make some sort of way for the player to come down the stairs and get into the sewer as easy as possible. And then I picked up some bits from Half-Life 2, like these rebars. They're all models. They're not actually surface textured blocks. So they're different. They're like an actual rendered asset, like in Unity or whatever. It's a game asset, like a gun or bullet or magazine that you can drop in the game. That's what the rebar is. But all the rest of this is all surface blocks with textures that you can just throw in a hammer and build. And you can see the turn angles in the pipe. It's not easy to do smooth pipes and hammer. It really is not. You can get close. They had utilities to get really close, like 32 sides of a pipe or something, and it was a lot of resources for a very small gaming rig when I built my machine. I think I don't think I even had a gig when I was making this game. Maybe 2. So rendering this and then trying to run it and compile it or build it or whatever the stupid lighting engine does. That little workstation, like their little desktop, it ran for like a half a day or a day trying to generate the light map for this whole game. So I just tried to reduce it to where I could actually function with it. And I kept some different aspects of this. So the staircase is all new. I did actually take the staircase from a previous map I was making. The map I was making was a apartment complex in a certain place in a certain end of the other side of the globe. Can't discuss. I was being a kid. I was designing stuff based upon knowledge I had firsthand with what I had. Didn't realize I was mapping out places that you probably shouldn't map out, so I deleted the objects. But I kept the technique. So I have the technique for how to make the stairs and stuff. But yeah, so this sewer is more or less original path for the original game. I added some other context that I think the original editors were going to throw in, but they didn't. Like, for instance, this manhole is breakable. This manhole actually comes out above where the bunker is. So you can actually come out in the middle of the street or drop down if you want. So there's actually multiple avenues for the counter terrorists to kind of get back to the same main path. If they get stuck, they can drop down to a different path and try and work their way around. Because Siege was not really a balanced map at all. It was a dominated map from the terrorists. There's only one way in, and that's the parking garage. So you have this door to get in from the sewer, and then you have this entrance. That's it. So it's a giant kill box. You really can't get in if you have snipers over here camping. You're pretty much set. Now, with the Molotov and flame grenade and flashbangs and so forth, you probably could fix this map. This map would be actually pretty decent. So there's the sewer entrance to get there. You can get from behind this building. Now, I haven't showed you the piece de resistances yet. I put all these fences in from Half-Life 1, so they're just kind of copy-pasted in rough, but it was a lot of work. That's actually a player wall, too. There's a box around those models that you can't get past physically. But there's also a skybox you can't see. But they lead to somewhere that's pretty cool. So we're going to take the back way to get to it. If I can activate it. Here it comes. My elevator. This took forever to make. It was a box, but just carving it and trying to get it right. I wanted it to be somewhat mind cavey. So let's activate it again. There's missing sounds because I think there are Half-Life 2 sounds that went away. So is it going to activate it or is it not? There we go. Cool. So this was all Half-Life 2 reused assets in this area, ladders and stuff. So it was actually like a mining area. It was actually really dangerous to get in and out of this. So if you're counter-terrorist, you're kind of hosed getting up the ladder. But and if the elevator activates, you can hear it almost anywhere, really. I made it that way. It looks like there's an error in the size of the player. This used to work. It no longer lets the player through. So they might have made the player hitbox a little bigger than it should be. Does this work? Yeah, the doors do work. Okay. Oh, that's right. No, yeah. The error is if the elevator is moving and you activate the door like freezes in time. So I hand sculpted all of this terrain using their mesh editor software. You basically create one box, creates a mesh, and then you can raise and lower points on the mesh, kind of like pulling it like cotton. It sucks. There was no easy way of doing it, but I did it. And I made I don't know, it's all right for what I was trying to do. I was trying to think of like what would coal mine look like, kind of like in a weird mine. And this is all before Reddit, so Forgotten Depths didn't exist or any of that. So I used what I kind of thought would work. Uh-oh. That was weird. Like a player hook. It's buggy. We know this. So I made all these walls using a single mesh, and then I'd stretch it out to where I want it, and then I'd freeze it just by letting go. But it would have to be point by point. So every single bend in these walls, every single triangle intersection was hand done. Some of them were clone stamped, some of them weren't. So it was kind of a lot of work. And as you can see light through it. That's because I didn't finish rendering. So the solution with Source doesn't like mesh. The solution they had for mesh didn't handle light well. If you notice, if you play the game, a lot of the mesh surfaces are on the ground. It's because they don't actually block light. For some reason, when the editors made that particular capability in the game's engine, it just doesn't block light. It looks like it does, but it doesn't. So you can see there's light coming through. So my workaround was I would make the mesh, and the mesh would be just one little like flat piece of paper, right? And then I have a block that would come in and sit behind it, and it would be a no light block. It would basically cut the light out of the engine out. So as light goes through, it would hit that block and just go. It wouldn't come back or bounce or anything like that. So it would prevent the game from leaking light and having render issues. But again, also, this was a rough, quick run of the light rendering. So there's different modes of rendering the light or whatever, computing the light map. So the light will be either like, like really bright, really intense, and like really narrow, no bouncing and all that, no ray tracing, any of that crap that's new. It'd just be flat, temporary stuff. So you can just get around and see a rough estimate or rough look of what the map looks like. So like lights up here, just really, there's no bloom. It just kind of looks there, and you can see like weird lighting effects and stuff. Yeah, it's all rough. So this was all partially rough too. So it's got some issues. So I also added like a random, like, dead cave entrances and stuff. I could have made this way better. Back in the day, I was just trying to like maintain a quick beeline route for the second path to the bunker. And I kept a lot of the game's original path, just made it bigger, made it better, enhanced it a little bit. This was a cluster. So this area, I was trying to think of how can I make the counter terrace spawn area like nice looking. And this was right when Source Engine came out. Half-Life 2 was big, like real big that month or that year, or 2 years. And WoW was just starting to come out. So WoW was like pulling people in, but people were still heavily playing Counter-Strike. So one of the things I really wanted was I wanted a nice looking map, because like Counter-Strike, for some reason, they had this really nice engine for water reflections they were using on Half-Life, but there really wasn't anything in Counter-Strike that had it. Counter-Strike was like strictly player-on-player focused, hyper-focused maps that had some nice things like Office. Office looked great, but there wasn't any reflection stuff that was like, ooh, shiny, right? So this map I specifically put in water to leverage the Half-Life look. I was trying to convey that it was like some sort of middle of nowhere place. Water just kind of had just collected here and created like this like canal thing that was like a mine. A different mod of the map could have been like the tunnel was flooded a little bit. You could just basically raise up that water entity and flood the tunnel. But the cluster, why it's a cluster, is this specific catwalk. I was trying to think of a way to slow down the counter terrace just enough, not knowing that they already had 1.5 miles to walk. So making it even more complex. So my original idea was the terrorists would have time to get out here and mess with this catwalk. So this entire catwalk is breakable. For some reason, I thought this was a great idea, and I just obsessed with building this breakable catwalk that would be a death trap for whoever came by. So I just, all these are movable pieces of wood that are breakable. So if you mess with them, they'll mess back. That's why the player is shaking, is because they're actual game objects that interact with the player. Like they're the tossable stuff or knockable stuff in Source that is not movable stuff in CSGO anymore. Like the barrels, everyone knows the barrels in Counter-Strike Source were terrible because they would knock people out of the way, and they'd be a great way to F up the whole gameplay just by knocking the barrels around with a grenade. Yeah, these are the same type of object class. It'll mess you up pretty good. The other bad thing is you just fall from this and just be hosed just by like having a buddy knock out one of the boards since you're going down. So you'd really get hosed. So I kind of made a cheat for players that ever got to play this map. I actually sculpted the land just enough to remove like 20 health. So if you took a risk and you kind of worked around the terrain and tried to surf the terrain back when surf maps were just coming out, by the way, this would give you that advantage. So you could have a potentially faster route, but take a hit. I don't know if it actually would kill you. I haven't checked that, but so yeah, this tower here, this is original. Just basically mapped out the stairs and tried to keep it. There's really no point to this tower. It's just a detail on the map so you can get up and see around. I mean, if the terrorists came to the counter terrorists, this would be a great sniping nest. I kept the original tunnel. I just modified it with new texture, new light, so forth, and fixed the blocks. Of course, all this is hand carved again. It's just I took the original shape and matched it. I also tried to figure out what can I put in this thing that like implies that the tunnel is where they spawned. Originally, I had used the Hummers in this thing. Are they gone? I'm not sure if they're gone. It doesn't matter. I used to have like a van or something that would show up here and you'd spawn and just go. But it's not here now. It's just water, just kind of there. But yeah, let me show you where the bridge is. The bridge was quite devious. I basically used some texture assets from Half-Life 2. The bridge struts are actually single solid blocks. It was all hand done, more or less, somewhat, if memory serves. I can't remember if it was an asset or it was texture. I think it was texture based. I think I actually built it. Yeah, I think I did. Or I reused an asset and layered something on top of it to make it work smooth for the player to get across. It was a little bit of work. But there was something I did that was a dick move. So you'll notice this gate has some gates, right? Well, there's a hidden box that I put in here, if it's still here. So one of the things I was trying to learn in the Half-Life engine, this is all before I knew about code or anything. I didn't know any of that crap. And I don't still, I'm learning, was I wanted to have a way to F with players in the server if it was late at night and we're just having SNGs, right? So there's a box. There's a hidden box somewhere where the character is right now, or it's over by the gate, where if you knew it was there, it's not physical. You can't interact with it physically. But you walk up to it and you literally just push E as if it's a button, and it's an invisible button, and it would close the gates and play like sirens and stuff. I can try and find it. I'm sure there's a way to turn it visible. If I still have it in here, it might have been deleted. I can't remember. Oh, I got it. Or did I just add that? Did I get it? Yeah, that's it. I found it. So if you were a terrorist and you knew the counter-terrorists were taking their time to start up the match, you could run over to this spot and trigger it somehow. It would play a siren or something, but it doesn't seem to be... Support for this will go away soon. It looks like there's an error in that area. So yeah, I guess they may not have the sound file loaded or whatever. Or maybe you have to have the Half-Life sounds loaded in a parallel folder, even though it should be there anyway. It's all the same assets. But yeah, this was CS Siege. It took, I want to say, 6 months to do. There was lots of nights trying to figure out what I wanted to do as far as textures and stuff. When I wasn't playing WoW, I was doing this, and I wasn't playing WoW all the time, or I was at high school trying to just make grades meet before going into the military. So this game, this specific map, from the file save, it says 2007, which means that I enlisted in 2006, and this is weird. So it's showing a save. Oh yeah, I did take my desktop with me. So like a couple days before I must have graduated tech school, and a couple days before I PCSed to my first duty station, I spent time updating this file for my Counter-Strike clan. And there was no internet really for me to use there because there was like 50 people on a DSL line. So, yeah, back when 802.11b existed for wireless, it was terrible. Terrible. But that was CS Siege. I have CS Thunder as well. CS Thunder was a dam map that I had remade. This was a lot of fun building this map. Many moons were listened to the Animatrix soundtrack while I was making this map. Yeah, I don't think I put a button that undoes the gate. Doesn't seem to let you out. Oh yeah, inside. Inside was like a pretty nice setup too. I tried to map the hallway the same kind of way. Let's go on in there and show you guys real quick because you kind of saw it, but you didn't get to see it all. So there was a feature I put in the game that was a security cam. So the terrorists actually get a security cam for their spot. So let me open it up here. All these doors had sound effects. So there's the security cam model that I just piggybacked. It doesn't actually do anything. There's a little camera entity that sits in front of it that looks over here. Another grate that's busted. But it used to have a little video that would sit here, and you can see it's not rendering correctly because they probably removed support for it. But in Half-Life 2, that was one of their tricks for like all the different screens where you see the guy, Breen, talking to Gordon Freeman. It's actually a camera being played on at least that's my understanding, it's being played on a textured surface in front of a monitor or on the monitor itself, rendering that view. So, or pulling that view forward. And that's all I did. I basically tied it to the monitor, and the monitor just plays the camera, which you can see doesn't work. So, yeah, the sound effects are broken. I'm not sure why. The door over here would be like, "Bah, bah, not allowed." Just stupid crap like that. We already saw that. What's in here? A lot of detail work was done in this area just to kind of nice it up. I think I put player blocks in. My goal was to like create these areas in the terrorist areas where they could camp and basically wait for counter-terrorists to come in and just jump them. There was a plan to like, so I put sound effects and stuff to make this like look kind of like, why were they there, right? So they have the kidnapped scientists, there's a bioweapon, blah, blah, blah. Stupid ideas. But one of the things I did want to do for this map was like there'd be like a breaker or something they could go to and just turn off all the lights. I never got around to doing that, but all right. So that's Siege. This was an original map remade into Source. It was just a pet project of mine. It did work. Players were able to play. And it was extremely one-sided because this map was always known to be one-sided. If you guys do want to see this map in CSGO, I am happy to do that. Let me see if I can get no clip going. You can't use SV_cheats. One, no clip. There we go. So I'm happy to run a compile for this to make it potentially CSGO compatible. I have all the original map files. I don't know if Hammer will still run them because I was having issues trying to load Hammer up the other day, which is probably just me tweaking it. Hammer's finicky. It's just the way it is. But I'm definitely happy trying to bring this in. This was something else. You'll note the thickness of the boxes are a specific size. That's actually to somewhat help out Counter-Strike's hitbox setup. So if the box is too thick, it stops a bullet from going. No, the bullet doesn't actually go through the surface. It's just the unit system, how it understands it. It's stupid. Like if the units are 4 deep, it understands that it does damage to 3 deep, and anything past that keeps going. But I don't know. That's my understanding of it. I don't know if that's exactly correct, but I'm not a game engine developer, so I can't tell you. But I built this all when like GoldenEye Source was like in infancy being thought out and stuff. 2003 game on Unreal 2. I never actually played Unreal. I've seen it, but I've never actually played the game engine. And I'm really interested in Unreal 4, by the way, the engine itself. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass. Any engine building a map. I think my first experience besides Hammer was time splitters. They had a map maker, like you could block together sections of a pre-built game, and that'd be your map. It would run it. Yeah. Damn. But yeah, I wanted to do this kind of stuff for a while. It was my hobby, and I didn't know like where I could go to do it, and would it be fun if I did it? And talking to one of my coworkers who has had over a decade in the gaming industry, I'm kind of like, maybe I don't want to do it. But this wouldn't be anything I would build. I'd probably be building a different type of game. But yeah, let me see if Thunder's on here. Let me copy the Thunder file in. Thunder was also one of the same type maps from that same era. It was never brought in for some reason. I don't know why, but it exists. I'm pulling it in. Thunder T-Spawn, Thunder 2005, man. Test backup 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all old stuff. Where's the original? CS Thunder zip is dead. It might be in the original map backup. Nope. C strike. There it is. Go there. Oh, CS Thunder. Go. Yay. Okay. I might have it. Yeah, it took a while. It took quite a while. But it was worth it. It was fun. And like the whole time I was on that, I was sitting on like voice chat for Ventrilo or whatever. Or I was sitting in the auction house on WoW. It's fun. It's 1:30. I gotta get to bed soon. I'm looking. Hammer autosaves maybe? No. Is it in here? Doubt it. Stalker. Great game. Terrible engine. Thunder vent tests. Control, dam render, alpha test. I'm looking for it. 1 second. Thanks for hanging out. I didn't know if you had to go to bed or not, so I apologize if you had stayed up because of me. Thunder SPD. That is the original 007 facility. Oh man, some old game maps. Ice World, King of the Hill. Yeah. Okay. I was starting to like code name the maps I was building, by the way. Pour myself another drink. Well, drink for both of us, buddy. I haven't bought alcohol in like months. I keep telling my missus, I'm like, let me go to the ABC store. I'll pick up some rum or something. No, don't worry about it. But I want rum. I want my rum. I'm not a Scotch guy. I've had like five managers offer Scotch, I think, over the years, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Scotch. It smells like paint thinner to me. I can't do it. CS Thunder Beta. God, which one was it? Office Unlimited. I haven't seen that in forever. That was fun. Oh, actually, this one might be it because it's got the navigation file rendered as well, or built. You had to generate a stupid file with it that called .nav that would basically provide the bots the logical like mapped mesh on top of the playable area that they could go to, and it was a grid thing. It was automatic. I just ran it. It was, yeah, I'll have a mesh. Let's do it. But it would sometimes have like these weird spots where the bots would go, so you'd have to like edit it in game or something. I can't remember. It's been so forever. All right, let's copy out the nav and the main map. And then import it into the map main folder. There it is. It's in there now. Why are they different names at different times? Oh no. Don't know. Weird. The nav file is like 20 hours later. The map file was rendered at 1 a.m. and then the nav file was rendered at 6:49 p.m. Like what? Okay. Let's see. Let's see if it runs. I assume it. I got kicked from the server. It was my own server. You can't kick me out of my own server. Apparently you can't. Siege Thunder. Oh. Not found or invalid. Oh no. Shader work, pipes, Scouts Knives. There it is. There it is. The Scouts Knives source mod that I did. That was fun. A lot of work. A lot of different shapes because Scouts Knives has these like tapered surfaces and stuff because of the 0G sniping that they were doing in the old days. I didn't make the original. I copied the original and then fixed it. CD spawn. That might be it. No. Yeah. Yeah, I think I was fixing a bug in CT spawn, and that might be the original. That's the editor file. So if that's the editor file, why isn't it? Where's the BSP? What's in here? Ooh, maybe Thunder door test, Thunder debris, Thunder hall, Thunder progress 1, office test, dam surface test, control test, generator plant test. Yeah, this might be alpha. Alpha was generated 11/24/2005. Oh, yes, sir. That is old. 24, I said, so Christmas? No, November. Sorry, November. It's probably a weekend, though. 11/24 seems to be the winner. I can't seem to find... Oh, there's something for 12/10. I was testing something. I don't know what it was. A lot of prototype runs. 2/26/2006. Siege. 2/25/2006. A lot of Siege test stuff. Thunder SPD. 11/25/2005. I thought we just tried to load that one, but it's a different file in a different folder, which makes me think this is the good one. And there's a log file with it. So what does the log file say? Ooh, that's a compile log. Yes. Yes. Thank you. I think we found it. Copy. It's a PRT file. So, yeah, that might work. So we can get it. Replace. Okay. Let's try and open it now. Don't you give me back talk. Yes! Found a good file. It might not be nothing though. Oh yeah. Let's try to load server info. Okay, let's turn on SV cheats and flashlights. It's weird the flashlight's disabled by default. We're going to start in the terrorist area. Who's watching right now? 2 people. By the way, this will be saved. I'll present this on YouTube, and I might send it up to the Counter-Strike subreddit. I don't know. I think I had photos on there a long time ago. How big of a monitor? Where? Where? What are you talking about, monitor? Oh, for my computer? This is a 28-inch, I think. Those are 19s. Yeah. So my main computer is a 28, and then I have a cheap throwaway Acer 17-inch like laptop size screen I picked up for like $70 from Micro Center. I needed an HDMI feed for like messing with security camera systems. Oh, the text is so small. What text is? Oh, on the desktop. Yeah, 4K. It was taking 4K res and then pumping it out as 1080p. So sorry. But yeah, I do read 4K, like font 6 now and then. So this was all hand done. This whole area was all hand done. The models are brought in from CS Office, so I just went into the model list and I was like, ooh, I like that. Let's put that in there. So this is all junk you can find in CS Office, like the computers. This was like mind-blowing detail for Half-Life engine back in the day. Like you could just start smashing it and gibs of like junk would come out of it. So yeah, it's like, whoa, the computer actually has parts. You know, just ooh. Actually, you can see the camera is working. So this map, the actual camera view of the dam is looking at the CT spawn. So terrorists could sit in T-spawn and watch counter-terrorists come running through where they want. I don't think I had a mechanism for switching camera feeds, though. I think I tried to do multi-camera angle or something in like a security room thing, and Half-Life's engine at the time only supported one camera feed. It was just the way it was. There was a way to like potentially like add channels or something where you could like change which one was active. I don't think I ever solved that, but that's how they do the plot scenes and dialogue for Half-Life 2 is different camera angles and stuff and all the weird turning and all the G-Man stuff. That's all different camera tricks. So I hand did all of this work. I think the ceiling lights were ripped out of Office though. It's all custom made shapes and stuff. This whole area was really kind of hard to figure out because I had to take the original blocks and figure out how can I like jam all this together to make it work right. Because when it rendered, like this wall was all diagonal slashed chunks of whatever. Imagine like a star went off and boom and just shattered it into a billion different shapes. When I had to highlight that wall, it wasn't just a wall as one. It was like a wall in like 80 pieces. And some of them were weird, some of them didn't fit, because what would happen is it would create those pieces, and then it would like stretch the odd triangle diagonal pieces to fit the U, the cube unit in the grid of Hammer. So there'd be like odd angles at like decimal point spots on the grid, and Hammer at the time doesn't allow anything under 1. It has to be at single units. So the lowest unit you can do is 1 by 1 by 1 or 0. There's no point whatever decimal point system. You can kind of force it, but the editor just wouldn't work. So there's some bad textures lying around. I think that was my game texture because I think that sign was black and this had my logo and it was black. I added like a duct here and some random details in different spots. But this was more or less, I think I did a lot of creativity with this. I sculpted the mountains. I sculpted the water. I was going to add a Hoover Dam kind of valley to this because I was learning how, in this specific map was the second one, I was learning how to do the environmental cube map view. So if you play Counter-Strike and you have those different scenes that like kind of extend in the distance and you can't get to them, it's because they're not actually there. They're a little tiny camera sitting in a little tiny room, and it's projected and mapped out to what the player can see. So if you like run around in any other map on Source, you'll find these little tiny rooms somewhere in the map, underneath the map or around the map. That's what we used for this environment view global perspective thing. I never figured it out. It was an entity thing that I wanted to learn, but I couldn't. I just never got around to it. So I was going to map this to that and have a nice little view. Never worked. But one of the other things I did was, I made this nice little thing, and I basically took the Thunder map that it was in its shattered state and made something newer out of it. I added a couple details that people don't really know because you can't see them. So there's a detail in here where if you jump off the side, it auto kills you. The cake is a lie? What? That was weird. I don't remember putting that in the game. Must be from the map. But there's other details, like Thunder had some weird details that I didn't know what to do with. So like they had this weird turbine room thing that had no detail. It was like one machine with a really loud noise or something, I think, in the 1.6 version. And I was like, I gotta figure out some way to spruce this up and make it a combat zone people are gonna line up to shoot in, because there's only 2 avenues really, maybe 3 for Thunder. It's just a giant head-to-head charge and shoot 'em up kind of setup. And I turned this into that by, if you notice, before the doors opened, they had a little hole in them. So if you sat here and you didn't get close to the doors, you could have a nice little sniper nest. The problem is, if you touch these doors, those doors open. So it's a nobody wins kind of thing. It was supposed to deter oppers from setting up ahead of time, or you could have people stack up on the door and then one person nudges the door and it opens up. It was that kind of idea. Just go shoot. So it was like a mini mission start within the game after the mission's already started. I added some different details in here, like if you stand on top of these little transformer things that I created, it'll shock you to death. It'll actually kill you. All these are assets I just kind of ripped out of Half-Life 2 and dropped in here. Like the containers are Half-Life 2. You'll notice them from the harbor. This thing was in a map that was discontinued or something. I found these assets in Half-Life 2 as well. And then these bricks are all just crap I just picked up. The boxes I handmade, I think, or they were already assets made. I can't remember. Barrels, obviously, from the original game. I successfully stacked them. I can't remember if I made them breakable. Yeah, they're breakable. I made them a little bit heavier, but in their weight property, so they actually provided some decent cover. So I actually went back and fixed the barrels that were broken in Source because I was tired of it. I was like, they're meant to help you in a paintball situation. Why are they not helping you? So I made them a little heavier. Some other stuff, like I added some doors and stuff, or kept some doors from the original game, the original map. But there's little details here or there I added that were just kind of gee whiz, like these vans. I added those. I had a camera from, I did add a second perspective from the counter-terrorist side, so they could see the dam as well. But I also added a secret room, because this was, I think I was doing this map right when Portal came out, I think, or close to Portal coming out. And I think it was the preview was the cake is a lie or something, and I wanted a weird video of it, so I made this this is in the game, so if you can no clip to this fenced area with admin, that's right, so this area had a specific purpose. So in 1.6 and in Source, there was a admin mod for servers where you could teleport bad players to different parts of the map. So one of the things that people would abuse, myself included, would be on Aztec, would teleport people behind a fence in Aztec, and then people would just shoot them and they'd be done. So for this one, I made an actual internment camp. So if you go near the fence, it shocks you. It's an electric fence. So if the admins are mad at you, they just every game send you to this box and you're just kind of screwed. But I can't remember what the button does. It does something, I think. Oh, Oh, that's right. It creates a press and pushes you against the electric fence with my logo. Yeah, so this was all just different, like, messing around stuff. God, man. But yeah, so let's see if I can find where this goes. So I hand carved most of the stuff, or repurposed some old shape spots that didn't match. One of the things I also wanted to do with the dam itself, because what do you do in Counter Strike with a giant open space? Counter Strike's not designed for that. It's designed for angle of attack and suppression of movement, right? A tit for tat kind of thing. Well, you can't do that on a dam. It's just open. So I put these. I can't remember if these were original or if I added these. Oh wait, that might tell you if it's original. Yeah, see the slice? So that might be original. So I did add some details. I added some cement pallets here and there, just kind of like a gee whiz thing. Like it's a. The idea was that the dam is decrepit, it needs to be repaired. And so I added all those models and make it kind of look like that. And they do work. If you can get from spawn, I can't remember what was in here. Oh, I think it was a generic view that they had that I put in. But if you can get from spawn to here, you had a pretty good chance of getting a nice little sniper nest. But there's just different aspects of this map that were like, there's no way this will be balanced ever. Just no way. The whole getting through here is a nasty pinch point. Getting from one side of the turbine to the other is a kill box. Getting from spawn to any location, if the terrorists can weave in through those doors and get here before they can get down the hill, you're done. So right away when I made this map and I remade it from the original and kind of framed this room with all these lights and stuff, I kind of goofed. The room is too far away from where they spawn to get to the middle of the dam on time. So I didn't do any player timing kind of things to see if I could make this balanced or not, because I didn't think about those kind of concepts when I built these maps or repurposed or envisioned these maps from their 1.6 days. It didn't occur to me any of that crap. I didn't understand. That's why Office is designed the way it was, where there was kill boxes or kill hallways or turn hallways, or Aztec had that, or any of the other classic maps had, like, trapped areas. That's game theory 101. Didn't even occur to me at all. It was just like, oh, I can just run around and do what I want. This is my map. And as you can tell from that little spot, that's why. But yeah, it was this particular map, when I finished it, and Siege was my first two maps for my map pack. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of frustrations and started learning different stuff about how to optimize lighting, fix leaks. Like when you run the log would barf a bunch of junk at you, and you had to like figure out the XY coordinates where it was that had issues. Like here, this one I think. It's still got my email address from my old days. It's okay. It's got 2-factor. I'm good. Yeah, I don't want to. That's fine. It's a really old email, by the way. Elevator test maybe might have it. Anyway, it would tell you XY of where the light was leaking in multiple spots, and the render engine as it's running would basically vomit at you either early, like after a half hour running, or late after a whole day of running. And when that happened, you just had to fix it. And I learned all that. I had no idea how any of that worked. And I had to I had to do some basic research, and this is all before Wikipedias. This is all before any of that junk where people could just look something up and be like, oh, okay, that's what did it. Or there'd be like archives of years of people talking back and forth about how to fix this kind of crap. None of that existed when I started to learn all this crap. So it was this is all back like early first year of like Steam powered, I think, forums existed. But yeah, that was that's it. That's all I got. A lot of talk about gaming mapping. It was a passion of mine, still is to an extent. But one of the concepts I wanted to use this for was not just for Counter-Strike. I wanted to use it for like architecture, and this is like all CAD 101 kind of stuff that I wanted to like put into a renderable walk-around environment. Now, obviously, it's not going to be a good thing if you're showing someone a model home and they have a Glock in your hand walking around the model home, but who cares, right? It's just, you know, there's ways to hide that, but still, either way, it was a technique to use something that was free-ish at the time to do what you wanted for stuff that you wouldn't normally have access to. And it was really nice of Valve to make these tools available, not well known, but available. It's just yeah. Oh, here's the little tunnel. Yeah. Oh, this area. So this was one of my nice like works as well, was the pipes and stuff. I spent a lot of time placing, like, these rails are models from Half-Life 2, and they're in sections, and I had to like position them all perfectly to get all these different like little details to be just right. Like, so like that, I had to line those pipes up. That sucked. Those are like maybe 1 or 2 block by 2 block, just absolute pain in the butt. But, you know, I tried to reuse some stuff that they had in the original game too. I was trying to recreate some feels for Half-Life 1 with this room. And this was like the first thing I think I rendered for the map. It was just like wow, this is going to be awesome. And then I finished the other rooms and I'm like, this is not so awesome. But there was some pretty cool gameplay aspects I didn't think about when I first started showing people these maps. Like, I didn't even think about this. Yeah. Didn't even think about it. So someone could just camp right over here in this corner if they can get it just right. I think I left space for them to get around. I can't remember. Or did I put a player wall? I put a player wall. I'm pretty sure I put a player wall. But yeah, so like so the light maps obviously still have problems. BLU. What's BLU? These guys? Basic logic units. Oh, blinky light units. Yeah. I think they were default models I found in the model archive, and I was like, you know what? We're doing it. We're gonna put it in. Like, this whole big giant HVAC stack. What does it even do? Why is it even there? Like, just look at it go. Just need some old Univac spinning magnetic tape or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, but you can tell from that. I just turned on the flashlight and turned it back off, and the freaking ceiling disappears. Yeah, I did watch SG1. I've seen, I think, every episode twice, and Window of Opportunity is my #1 favorite, by the way, because it's real. No, Window of Opportunity was always great. Okay, right? It's like just the best show ever. It's probably where I got the feel for this area. Was, I think I was watching Stargate at the same time. Maybe it was that time frame where it was on TV like all the time, on Sci-Fi. Back when Sci-Fi was like Sci-Fi, not the new Sci-Fi, the original Sci-Fi. No, or was it USA? I can't remember. But yeah, I had a lot of fun building this and trying out, seeing how people would react to the different styles of it, and trying to restore something that someone spent time on. Showtime. Oh, okay. That's why I didn't get to see it until a certain time. Wish one of them had Duckman. Or yeah, Duckman. I remember seeing that same time frame at a place, a friend's house. He had like premium cable or whatever with the 2-digit cable box. Yeah. No, yeah. God. Old TV. Still, it's nice for its age. If what is it? Universal? I think it's Universal. If they have high quality filming of that show, they need to release it on Blu-ray again. If they already haven't, I can't remember if they did. just like with Star Trek. They were trying to bring out Star Trek and MGM. Yeah. So they definitely have high quality. They didn't film in VHS. So one can hope if there's a Blu-ray pack. I can't remember if there was. I don't think there is. Look at these dumb details I did. Stupid. I think I had like a secret box down here or something that had like ammo. But you can't actually get to it. Where is it? Let me see if I can get in there. Can I get in? Can I get in there? Come on. I think these used to be breakable, and then they changed the game code or something. Or can I shoot it? Yeah, you can shoot it. Oh god, my ears, sorry. Yeah, so you could create a little bit of cover. And no one will know you're really there. But yeah, Star Trek, or Stargate, man. Oh yeah. If there was anything that made me go to the Air Force besides a certain family member, it was Stargate. Like, what is happening with the light engine? Damn off? Damn on. Oh my God. Oh, that is a light map error if I ever saw one. Just it's fog of war. Like, what is happening? That is so weird. Oh yeah. Just, this map could have been so much more. It could use some work. I definitely could make it better, but it's not rendering anything past the beam of light. Correct. Yes. Well. Oh, you know what? No, I think it's doing visual zones. There's a specific box that you put for carving up how the engine renders light. So you can segment rooms with these walls, this custom texture that you put on it. I can't remember what the heck it's called. But it basically tells the engine, hey, between this point and this point, just render this area. And the light will work in this area a certain way. And then after this space, render the next light map. And it would be a 3D light map for reflections and stuff. You'd have to put a special box entity thing. Like, it looked like a little sphere of doom. And you just, like, let it sit in there. Like the grenade from Stargate. You just let it sit there. Yeah, go to sleep. I'm taking too much of your time. Anyway, thanks for watching, Flyboy. For anybody on YouTube or Twitch that finds this, when I share it, again, these are maps that are available if you want to take a look at them. I still have the map files for them, too, for Hammer. If you want to credit me, cool. I don't know who made it originally for 1.6. Probably the original Counter-Strike developer team. So, have a good night. Thanks for watching, man. I definitely owe you a drink sometime. But yeah, this is... memories. Wait, what? I never noticed that. The books. The book says Java. Does that say MATLAB? Yeah, it does. Oh, God. Alright. Well, this has been DC taking some fun down memory lane for an old gaming group I was doing stuff for. Y'all have fun. See you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna kill my stream now. Keep at it.